cold, had drawn little attention, and the hostile manager, who was only too surprised and happy to have paying customers, asked them no questions, neither about where they had come from, nor about their future travel plans. Even had the manager asked, Adnan couldn't have answered if he wanted to. The future belonged to Allah, whether the rest of the world knew it or not. It was dark in Paris, and there was a chill in the air that affected the two Arabs more than the Parisians, but that was an excuse for more wine, which was welcome. And the sidewalk tables had thinned out enough that they could talk more openly. If anyone was observing them, then he was being very careful about it, and you couldn't be afraid of everything all the time, even in this business. They're waiting for another communication?
In 3/4 of a mile, keep
Ibrahim
left.
nodded. It's supposed to be en route. A good courier. Very reliable. What do you expect? I've learned not to speculate, Ibrahim said. I take my directions as they come. The Emir knows what to do, doesn't he? So far he has been effective, but sometimes I think he's an old woman, Khan groused. If you plan your operation intelligently, then it will work. We are the Emir's hands and eyes in the field. He picked us. He should trust us more. Yes, but he sees things which we do not see. Never forget that, Ibrahim reminded his guest. That is why he decides on all the operations. Yes, he is very wise, Fahad conceded, not entirely meaning it, but had we talked that way, even so. He had sworn his allegiance to the Emir, and that really was that, even though he'd done it 5 years before, still in his enthusiastic teens. People believed much at that age and swore loyalty easily, and it took years for that sort of oath to wear off, if ever. But that didn't
In 2
entirely
miles,
stop
keep
doubts.
right.
He'd met the Emir only once, while Ibrahim could claim to know him. Such was the nature of their work. Neither Ibrahim nor Fa'ad knew where their leader was living. They were familiar with just one end of a lengthy electronic trail. That was a sensible security precaution. American police were probably as efficient as the European sort, and European police were meant to be feared. Even so, there was much old woman in the Emir. He didn't even trust those who had sworn to die in his place. Whom then did he trust? Why them and not him? Fa'ad asked himself. Fundamentally, Fa'ad was too bright to accept things because I said so, as every mother in the world said to every 5-year-old son. Even more frustratingly, he could not even ask certain questions because they would imply disloyalty to certain others.
In 1 mile,
disloyalty
keep
in the
right.
organization was tantamount to a request for self-immolation. But Fa'ad knew that this actually made sense, both from the Emir's point of view and for the organization as a whole. It wasn't easy doing Allah's work, but Fa'ad had known that going in, or so he told himself. Well, at least in Paris you could look at the passing women, dressed as whores, most of them, showing their bodies off as though advertising their business. It was good, Fa'ad thought, that Ibrahim had chosen to live in this area. At least the scenery was pretty. That's a pretty one, Ibrahim said in agreement to the unspoken observation. She's a doctor's wife, and sadly she does not commit adultery in my experience. Mind reading, Fa'ad laughed. French women are open to advances?
Keep right.
Some are. The hard part is reading their minds. Few men have that ability, even here, and he had a good laugh. In that sense, French women are no different from our own. Some things are universal. Fa'ad took a sip of coffee and leaned closer. Will it work? He asked, meaning their planned operation. I see no